This is Culture, Communication, and Brand Moments with Shelby Jo Long, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet, hear their stories, and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. Culture, Communication, and Brand Moments is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Shelby Jo Long.
Good morning. I'm Shelby Jo Long. I'm the Senior Vice President of the Strategic Advisor Board and CEO of Rogue Publishing Partners. And we use this podcast to introduce you to people within our industry that can help you solve problems and move to the next level in your business. Today, we have an opportunity to interview somebody within the Rogue Publishing Partners group. Carla Green with Clarity Design Works is here to tell us all about her business and what she can do for clients. So Carla, welcome to the interview today. I'm excited to get into your business.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to talk with you today, Shelby.
Great. Well, why don't we begin by you just telling us a little bit about your business and who you serve.
Okay, great. So Clarity Design Works is my business. I specialize in doing book design and production. So I primarily work with nonfiction authors, also a fair amount of memoirs. I've done a few fiction books, but really it's that nonfiction business, self-help, memoir type world that I move in. My focus is on the whole design and production piece. So from cover design to the interior page layout, ebook formatting, and also some publishing support. So which turns out to be a lot of hand-holding a lot of the time, since most of the people I work with aren't experts in publishing. They're experts in whatever they're experts in. So I explain how it all works. My clients are their own publishers. They are self-publishing, and I guide them through to the path that makes the most sense for whatever their reason for publishing that book is.
That's great. I have learned so much about the publishing world just in this past year of doing my own book. And learned a lot about self-publishing versus publishing. Traditional publishing. Can you talk a little bit about that and why self-publishing, with the benefits of self-publishing?
In a nutshell, it comes down to time and money. Basically, you're going to be able to self-publish a whole heck of a lot faster than you could with a traditional publishing deal. Part of that initial conversation I have with my clients about their why are they publishing this book, will sometimes guide us to maybe self-publishing isn't the right answer. Maybe they're really looking for that big exposure, volume sales, and you really want to pursue a traditional publishing deal in that regard. But for the majority of the people I work with, they want a book for other reasons, leveraging their credibility, marketing, opening doors to whatever comes next. Maybe just it's a passion project. That's also a legacy, any of those reasons. And you're going to want to probably get it done and out into the world and holding it in your hands a lot sooner than you would with traditional publishing. So you can get to market faster. And the cost factor is that you are going to be bearing the cost up front because you're paying all these professionals for their expertise, or doing it yourself, which makes for more time and not the path I recommend, but it's doable. And your royalty, but you'll enjoy bigger royalties by self-publishing as opposed to the deal you would get with a traditional publisher.
Sure. That's there again, so much that I have learned. I understand the hand-holding part of it, that your expertise is helping people discover what it is they don't know about it. It's right. Not as easy as putting something up online. There's a whole design piece to it. There's so many different elements to know about.
Well, I think part of it too is that you, especially in the world that we work in, you want that result to be as professional as possible. You can throw something together and put it up and publish it. That's totally doable. It doesn't require a lot of expertise. But how's it going to reflect on you as the professional? Is it going to give you that image that you want? And you want it to take you up a notch, not down a notch.
Exactly. You don't want the credibility to work against you. You want it to work for you and in your goals. Well, that's great. Carla, can you tell us about how you got into this industry? What's your background? How'd you get into publishing?
Well, my background educationally is much more on the writing side. Journalism was my focus back in college, but I was always much more interested in promotional side of things. So I was in public relations and marketing jobs originally, back in the JOB days, as I call them. But I always wanted to be the one to work with the design agency, ad agency, depending on the job I had at the time. And eventually I just sort of wanted to work my way around to the other side of the table and actually be in that design capacity. I went out on my own after about 10, 12 years of working for others, and first doing more PR type writing type work, but also adding in the design production type work. And then in the late 90s, which is really, yes, Amazon existed, self-publishing kind of existed, but not like it does today. And at that time, I had an opportunity to work with a trade publisher, someone in the company in the entertainment business, doing their books. And so that's really what got me into books, 80% of my life, my work life. And I really loved it. But that was, again, based on the timeline, we were using commercial book printers. So I have that experience of how do you get a book printed if we don't self-publish? So if that is, and sometimes that's part of the equation for even now for my clients. I just had a book printed by a third-party printer because she needed them for a different reason than what she's publishing. So I can mix and match depending on what's needed.
Yeah, you can provide the custom solution for the person that wants to publish. Like that's so valuable to be able to do that and to choose which direction fits their whole market the best.
What I'm finding is, I can tell you what the rules are, but there's vastly more exceptions to them. Everybody's an exception. And
Sure.
so that's why custom is really the right answer for so many people, because what you need and what the next person I talk to needs won't be the same thing.
Sure. That's exactly right. Custom solutions in this world that has so many different options for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. That's great. Well, talk a little bit about the entrepreneurship side of things, how developing your own business and how that maybe some challenges that you've overcome, and talk about how that works in the publishing industry.
Let's see. I think back whenever I get asked this kind of question of I have two sisters, one of whom is a teacher, awesome, and the other one is an architect, and she works for herself. Our father was a farmer, and at some point, 15, 20 years ago, he just sort of very surprisingly asked, I don't know why you girls want to work for yourself. I'm like, well, it could be because we watched you work for yourself and run your own business for many, many decades. So I always think that's a really funny reason why he would even say such a thing. So I had that inspiration growing up, watching my dad be able to cook lunch and be around. We had family dinner together all the time. So those are really driving forces to be able to run your own show. And not to say it's not without its challenges. Walking away from it on any given day is probably my biggest challenge, being able to say I'm done for the day, or at least for a while, especially when, I work from home. So it's not very much of a commute. I don't have any chill out time. But being able to pick and choose your hours to some degree. I want to be available to my clients, but being able to take some time off in the middle of the day for whatever reason, and then come back and work in the evening, that's my choice. And I love that about it. I also really love just the whole spirit of entrepreneurial spirit in general, is that sort of can do, roll up your sleeves, whatever it takes mentality. And that's what I bring to the table, whether it's working for someone or working for myself.
Sure. Yeah, there's so much. There are very tough things about it, but there's also some very gratifying things about it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And I find, particularly with the Rogue publishing partners, that we have now a community, and a formalized community, to be able to provide the best solutions for the clients. So can you talk a little bit about Rogue Publishing and what you see that as a part of how you see that as a part of your business?
I think it's going to be an awesome part of my business, because I shouldn't say none of us, but really none of us can do all the pieces, as you said yourself, so many moving parts. So being able to rely on other people's expertise and know that I can hand off my client, or at least help my client manage some of those other parts that is not my wheelhouse, that's just awesome. I mean, I already was doing that, but this is a vetted professional organization, people who, and we share the same client base. We have the same kinds of, like I said, roll up your sleeves, can do mentality, and people know what they're doing. Of everyone that I've already met with, it's just been really phenomenal. I've already made some referrals back and forth, and yeah.
Great. Yeah, it's nice we all have that referral community, but now we're kind of formalized and vetted partners, and we can really provide that custom solution that keeps us in our area of expertise, but then it also is the best way to serve the clients. So.
Exactly. Being able to do that start to finish service is just, I mean, it's to the client's benefit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100% with all of those things. Well, Carla, where can our audience find you? And we'll be sure to include your website and all that in the description, but where can we find you?
My website, Clarity Design Works, so claritydesignworks.com. I have a nice portfolio there with covers and interiors that I've done, and a few case studies, so you can kind of drill down a little bit into what was this particular author's challenge and why did we go down this particular path. So that's a good place to find me. I'm on LinkedIn. That's probably my favorite preferred social media. I'm on all of them, but yeah, it's my preferred one. I have a YouTube channel that you can also access with some deeper blog posts, basically verbal, blog posts. But website is the best. Best to contact you. Yeah. Yep.
Well, we'll be sure to include that in all of the communication about this event or about this podcast, and make sure to get some marketing for you. It sounds like you provide the solutions that authors need.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for chatting today.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on the podcast and letting us know a little bit about your brand. Love the story about your farmer. My dad was also a farmer, and so I had that background too, that having your own business and all of those things are so key, and nice to be able to, but now being a part of a community, it's nice to be able to focus on those strengths. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's great to, the good and bad of being an entrepreneur, I think, is being that one person, right? You're your own boss, but you really have to work to make a community. Otherwise, you're just really working in a vacuum. So that's a great reason for being a part of Rogue, that we can all not just have each other to refer to, but just being able to say, hey, I have this challenge. Does anybody has anyone been down this road before? And knowing that it's somebody in a like-minded business is just just adds so much trust to the equation.
Absolutely. That's the key, is providing trust.
Right.
Key part to your brand, key part to your business. I think that was great. So thank you, Carla, for letting us know a little bit about your business. I am glad that you shared about your business and then a little bit about your brand, so we can find you if we need you. I look forward to chatting with you the next time on the Strategic Advisor Board podcast and the Rogue Publishing Partners podcast, to be able to refer you to a partner that is trusted and that can help you bring your business to the next level. So thank you again, Carla, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for listening to Culture, Communication, and Brand Moments with your host, Shelby Jo Long. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we will see you on the next episode.